7 o'clock. Okay, welcome everybody to the town board meeting of June 25th, 2024, and a roll call.
Councilman Paul Valentine.
Here.
Councilman Jerry Vitari.
Here.
Councilman Brian Donahue.
Here.
Councilman Dan Sullivan.
Here.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Here. I'm going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilman Valentine.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we do have two presentations. First, we have the Day Camp Scholarship presentation. Oh, I didn't even see you hiding back there, Kim. Come on up. This is Kim Allen.
Good evening, everybody. I'm just going to move this closer. Can you hear me? Thank you. I want to say good evening, Supervisor Teresa Kenny, Deputy Supervisor Dennis Troy, and town board members. My name's Kimberly Allen. I'm a resident of Tappan, an employee of the town of Orangetown for 34 years, and I'm also the mother of Kyle John Boyce. It's an honor to stand here before you to present a check to Eric Gordon. He's the Director of Parks and Recreation, a check in the amount of only $450, as this check grants 2 children to attend the Town of Orangetown Day Camp program at the German Masonic Grounds in Tappan for a 2-week period of their choice. In the year before, we had 7 kids, but there was only 2 children that asked for our help. When my son Kyle was young, he attended the summers at the town day camp for 3 years. He also came back to work as a town day camp counselor for several years and always had a rewarding time spent with the kids and ensured they had a summer to remember. Even though we lost our Kyle in 2017 due to a virus that attacked his heart and led to congestive heart failure, it gives us on our committee great pride and fills our hearts with love to pay it forward in Kyle's memory. And thank you for having us tonight.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you. Eric?
Eric's going to come up. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next we have Eagle Scout project presentation from Joshua Rogers. Joshua, you here? You want to come up and explain a little bit what you're doing?
Okay, thank you very much for having me, and good afternoon. So I just wanted to show you guys a little bit about my project, what I'm going to be doing. And so my project is for the American Legion over here in Orangeburg. We're going to be cleaning up a huge part of the area, and we're going to be putting in a couple of different fences. So overview, there's 3 different stages to my project. We need to clear out some brush. Sorry. Better now? Is that better? Okay. So we're going to be clearing out a bunch of brush. It's overgrown with thorn bushes, weeds. So we're going to clear all that out. There's a few dead trees, a couple small trees, and a lot of branches that need to be trimmed. And finally, the 2 fences. We're doing a 6-foot stockade fence, about 160 feet along the left side of their property, and a 2-post split rail fence around one of the gardens that was put in by an Eagle Scout from my troop. So I believe this project is important because by cleaning up the area, it makes it so much more usable for the Legion and whoever else needs it. It beautifies the area so much more than having brush and weeds everywhere. And it provides new Eagle Scout opportunities for projects for other scouts to do. Here's a couple pictures of the landscaping. You can see the brush, all the weeds. The fire pit there was done by another Eagle Scout from my troop. And on the right, you can see there's a big pile of mulch that we have to clear out as well in order to put the fencing in. So here's another picture of the trees. You can see there's all overgrown. And finally, the fencing. So the fence is going to run behind the garden and the fire pit that's there along that side of the property. And the split rail fence is just around the two sides of the garden that's there. So here you can see a couple of better pictures, an aerial view of where the two fences are going to go, and a Photoshop picture of what we hope for it to look like once we're completed. Okay, so that's the general overview of my project. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I think I need to bring you over to my house. I have some brush that needs to be cleaned out. But anyway, we do appreciate it. It's actually on the agenda tonight for us to waive the building permit fee or whatever the fee was. So you're doing something right, because Jane Slavin doesn't waive it for too many people. So she actually reached out, and I said, yes, we definitely will waive the building permit fee. So anyway, thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions, or
No? Yeah.
you want to go take some pictures real quick?
Okay.
Okay. Roseanne, you have this, right? You have it. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we will quickly workshop our agenda items. So the first one is, I think most people are aware now that the Cider Works has asked to withdraw their petition for a zone change. So that's basically acknowledging that it's been withdrawn and is discontinuing and we are discontinuing the hearing, which has been going on for quite some time. Number 4, 5, and 6, and 7 all have to do with the zone change for 283 North Middletown Road, which they had done a presentation on. I think we're all kind of familiar with that lot. And the attorney's here if anybody has anything on that. Number 8, again, is waiving the building department fee for the Eagle Scout project. Number 9, which I think there's some people here on. So number 9 is basically authorization to sign the contract to purchase what we're calling the Olson Center property, which is the acreage on the water down in South Nyack. So this is basically the approval, keeping in mind that it's still, we have to have attorney 60 days, 90 days due diligence?
Right, to do environmental studies.
Environmental, make sure there's no oil tanks and things like that there. And then 2, they have to get approval from the Attorney General. But it's the intention of this board to move forward with this. That's why it is on the agenda tonight. It would not be here if we hadn't had not agreed upon it. So this is basically authorizing the contract to be signed and, again, move forward with the due diligence. I mean, and I've received a couple questions today. The goal at this point is to keep it a park, to keep it somewhat of a passive park. We're going to be trying to get grant money to remove the building, which is basically in horrible condition and is condemned. So the goal is to really just acquire the property, take down the old building, and then kind of figure out where we go from there. But anyway, one step at a time. Number 10 is a hold harmless identification. This has to do with a mailbox in the right-of-way, town right-of-way. Number 11 is a tax certiorari proceeding for Pearl River Estates. And the school district has already approved, I guess in theory anyway. Number 12, I will let the town attorney speak in more detail on.
Right, so that's with respect to a stipulation of settlement regarding the case that was started by the Village of South Nyack against the Yeshiva Visnitz, known as the former Nyack College property. Over the last couple of years, we've been in and out of court with them in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court sent us to mediation, and Jane's department, the building department, has been working with them to get them into compliance. So They've been going back and getting all the approvals that are necessary. Obviously, safety concerns were first and foremost. So they're to the point now where I think there are 25 buildings that have been CO'd. There's certificates of occupancy for 25 buildings that are occupied. None of the other buildings, are occupied if they don't have COs. So that's where we're at. This settlement is basically just saying, obviously, they have to comply with the law, comply with the code, and certainly not to occupy any buildings without appropriate approvals, or it will be a violation of the stipulation of settlement, which, again, we have remedies for that in any event, but this is another kind of layer. And somebody had asked me, over the course of time, if they had been fined. During this time period, there were some prosecutions in justice court, and the fines totaled about $20,000 over that time. So, again, the building department really did work with them to get them into compliance, and so that's where we're at. So the case is ready to be settled on those terms.
Okay. Number 13 is approving a retainer agreement with outside counsel. This is regarding a personal injury liability case against the town that we were originally going to handle in-house, but decided it may be more serious than originally anticipated, so we're going to hire attorneys that handle this on a regular basis. Number 14 is awarding the bid to Schutz Ford for a Ford Escape Hybrid. That's for Superintendent of Highways Jim Dean, I'm told. Number 15 is, we're revising. We actually approved this already, but Highway sent over a revised pavement preservation program list, so this is the updated and revised that we're approving. And then we have the audit. Okay. Pretty straightforward tonight. So I guess we can start by, can I get a motion to open the public comment?
Motion to open public comment. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so I'm just going to remind everybody, we do have a 3-minute rule, but we do have a new little tool up here that I can actually turn the microphone off if someone decides they want to exceed the 3 minutes. I really don't want to have to use it, so please, you'll hear it chime. Just if you wouldn't mind just wrapping up again. If you're in the middle of a sentence, you can finish it. We just kind of keep the rules the same for everybody. So the first one that signed up for the public comment is S.K. Bailey.
Good evening, Supervisor Kenny and members of the board. I'm here because I am thrilled that you are buying the Olson Center and that we're going to have a nice passive park. I know that you did a lot of work on getting that agreement to come about, Madam Supervisor, and we are so appreciative of it. And I hope that with all haste we will be able to be using that area. I know it'll be a while before you can get the building demolished, but maybe we could get a chain link fence or something around the building so that we could go down and use the park. It's a beautiful place. There's grass where you can throw out a blanket and have a picnic. There's seawalls you can sit on. It's really a wonderful place, and I thank you for doing that, and also for the work you've done in getting the yeshiva up to code 2. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do want to just in that context just mention that the Living Christ Church was very, very patient with us. It's a process when you're dealing with a church and with the government entity. So their attorney is someone I've known for a very long time, and they were fair. We got an appraisal, they got an appraisal, that kind of process. So it was a very amicable negotiations, which doesn't happen too much these days. So anyway, the next person is Brian Clerkin.
Good evening again, folks. I'm here to talk about
Thank you.
the Cherrybrook.
Thank you.
Residents of Pearl River have been trying for many years to get the Cherrybrook repiped, as it causes flooding and it's a hazard, and it's a safety hazard. We personally have been involved in this process for about 15 years, and we were told by Mr. Moran, the previous engineer, back in 2018 that the brook would be completed, and then again in 2019 by Mr. Riley, the current town engineer. The project was started in 2019 and then was stopped. After many emails and phone calls, a Cherrybrook improvement study was performed in 2019 by Brooker Engineering. In October 22nd, 2019, Mr. Riley presented the findings of that study to the town board. Caroline, my wife, has spent many hours researching this study and also has spoken to Ken DeGennaro, the engineer who completed the study. The information that we are providing tonight can be verified in the engineering study and from the Airtown article documenting Mr. Riley's presentation to the town board, copies of which have been provided to the board. The information, there are 3 sections in the Cherrybrook improvement project: the upper, the middle, and the downstream. Per Brooker's study, the upper section would be improved from 0-year storm projection to a 100-year storm projection. And the middle section would improve from a 10-year storm to a 100-year storm. The downstream section would improve from 10 years to 25-year storm protection, but the capacity would be improved with other non-piping methods. As Brooker's study outlines, this project would provide incredible improvements from 150% to 1,000% by just piping, which is a huge return on any investment. In an email from the supervisor, we were told that you'd be looking into this project, and we wanted you to be aware of some of the very important facts while making your decision. We're very passionate about this project, and we're asking you to please repair the Cherrybrook so that it's no longer a danger to us or our homes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Caroline Clerkin.
Hi, Supervisor and Town Board. Mr. Riley presented the Town Board on October 22nd, 2019. This has been very difficult, so please. The findings of the engineering study completed on the Cherrybrook that runs through Pearl River. Mr. Riley stated that the current system can handle a 10-year storm. However, as per the study, the upper section cannot. In fact, residents have complained for years that the upper section is susceptible to flooding with heavy rain. The study describes the improvements of putting in a 60-inch pipe. Mr. Riley said that we would get up to 100-year in the first 2 sections, but downstream it's down to only 15 to 20. There's definitely a cost benefit that has to be looked at here. We don't understand why Mr. Riley implied that the cost of the project would not yield appropriate benefits, as the upper section would improve capacity by 100%. I'm going to say that again. It will improve by 100%. The middle section would improve by 900%. Mr. Riley stated that downstream would only improve to a 15 or 20-year storm, but the study actually states that it will improve to a 25-year storm capacity, which is an improvement of 150%. What's more, the study didn't stop at increasing downstream to a 25-year storm. It also suggested alternative methods other than pipes to enhance the capacity above a 25-year storm. Improvements of greater than 150%. Mr. Riley did not discuss this in his presentation. Mr. Riley estimated that this would cost, including easements and reconstruction, $5 million. How was this estimate reached? No specifics were provided. He also said that the Cherrybrook is a growing problem, getting more dangerous. Yet, his only solution was to install a fence around the brook. How is fencing going to protect us against flooding? The town supervisor, Chris Day, concluded, without having all the accurate information from the study, that he's not seeing much return on investment. Councilman Dennis Troy responded, "It depends on how you look at it," to which Mr. Riley replied, "Spending $5 million would just transfer the problem." What transfer is Mr. Riley referring to? There is no mention of this in the study. In fact, it states that combined with the improvements of Phase 1 and 2, the increase in upstream capacity would not negatively impact the downstream properties. How could the town board make an accurate decision when they were not informed that this project will improve current storm capacities from 150% to 1,000%? And that's just with piping. Weather patterns have changed, and it isn't a matter of if, but when we get a huge storm. This won't just flood houses along the Cherry Brook. It will have far-reaching effects. This project has the potential of saving millions and millions of dollars. One man has already died because of flooding from the Cherry Brook. What price do you put on a human life? Just a few months earlier, as
I'm
shown
sorry, I'm gonna
in
have to-
Mr. Riley's
I'm gonna
email,
have to-
I'm almost finished. From January of 2019, despite being aware that the project had ballooned, he was still willing to move forward. Why did the opinion change in October? The 120 people signed the petition, and all those that will be affected are pleading with you to repair the Cherry Brook and keep us in our homes safe. Thank you for your time.
Next, we have Jerry Illoy. Doesn't work.
Good evening. I only found out yesterday about the pending acquisition of the Elson Center, and I just had to come down to tell you how thrilled I am about it. I'm so thankful to the board and to the church for coming to this agreement. In South Nyack, this is something that we'd wanted for many, many years, and I'm just so happy to see that it's moving forward. It's wonderful that the church, who could have sold this to anybody on the open market, saw that what a benefit this would be to the community, and I'm so grateful to you folks, the board, and the church, and the people involved in making this happen. So look forward to this, continuing working out the plans for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Joseph, looks like Edge, or
Good afternoon. I'm a new resident of South Nyack. I happen to live at 137 Piermont Avenue, almost adjacent to the property you're trying to purchase. Even so, I see the benefit in creating a park there. I'm very much concerned with the environmental effects that it will do on the cove and the immediate area. I'm concerned about access to the water. I'm concerned about the retaining wall. I was exposed to it only a few days ago, and I read the little leaflet that a neighbor gave me, and it discussed kayaking and going into the water, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And how are you going to make access to the water without breaching the wall? The last storm, most of the houses got damaged because of the high water level. That's one. People, are you going to handle traffic, parking, security? All this is, even so the idea, again, I compliment the idea, but I think that we need to think of what we really want to create there without affecting the neighborhood, safety, security, water. We can talk about bathroom and garbage and everything else that a park brings. And as a concerned neighbor, I would like the board to assess that and take it into serious consideration before you get into the finished product. Thank you.
next we have Danny Koskia.
Good evening. My name is Danny Kasha. I live just north of the property you're willing to purchase. I just do have a concern that knowing that what I went through to make sure that the property was safe so that there was no runoff, the town made me build retaining walls, and it was a big issue, and I wanted to know if the town's gonna go through the same thing, because that's virgin land that hasn't been touched since that building has been, a structure's been put there, now you're gonna remove it. And during the storm of Sandy, that retaining wall is not high enough. I know for sure, I have pictures of it, that the water went over that retaining wall and entered my property and caused damage. I want to be assured that this is going to be resolved and taken care of. So again, like my neighbors, I'm concerned that if you're going to make access to the waterfront, which I'm okay with, everybody needs to enjoy the property. However, what's the safety to my property? You know, is there going to be a fence put up? What do I have to do about people sitting on my retaining wall on my property? Where's the liability to that? I want to put it all out there that I have to be safe. If a ball's kicked into my property, what do? Do I have to chase people off? Is there someone that's going to patrol it? Are there going to be public bathrooms there? I'm just going to be in touch with the town because I want to just make sure that everything is safe and that everybody's happy. I do want a good environment, but it has to abide by the same rules that I had to. And I just want to make sure everything's proper. Thank you.
Andrew Goodwillie?
I apologize for my appearance. I was so excited to get here, I cycled straight from work. So my name is Andrew Goodwillie, resident of South Nyack, and I was a trustee for a number of years in the former village. And I'm a current member of the Orangetown Environmental Committee and the Orangetown Parks Committee. So I want to make some comments about the purchase. As other people have said, I am absolutely thrilled that this purchase is taking place. The parcel, the Olson Center parcel, comprises about 85,000 square feet of prime riverfront property, and there's an additional 4¼ acres of riverbed rights under the river. Back in about 2017, the church that owns the parcel came before the planning board with an application for a subdivision, and many people in the village, many of the officials and residents in the village, realized that this actually represents possibly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to potentially buy the parcel. The only comparable parcel was the Salisbury Cooperatives area that came up for sale in the 1950s, so 70 years ago. So why is the Olson Center parcel important? Well, the Hudson River, as we know, is the most distinctive physical feature of our region, and even though South Nyack is on the riverfront, it had only a tiny length of property that gave public access to the river. So the potential of buying the Olson Center property and providing that riverfront access is one that should not be passed up. And so I want to thank the church first for offering the entire parcel. That's fantastic. And I want to thank the town board members for your vision in pursuing this opportunity. And lastly, I want to pass on thanks from the former mayor, Bonnie Christian, who was the mayor for many years. She could not be here tonight, but she too is also thrilled with this opportunity. And really lastly, I want to offer my services in any way I can help to make this property become a public benefit. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that's the only people I have that signed up already. Is there anybody else who would like to speak that hasn't had a chance to speak? Okay, going once, going twice. Can I get a motion to close the public comment?
Motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Yeah, I guess just on the Olson Center, you know, how this went down, again, I was approached by some of the neighbors. The church originally, they had a subdivision for 4 homes. So if you think a passive park is gonna be a problem, try putting 4 homes there. Then they came and they said, look, we only wanna do 2 homes, we'll sell you the other half, which we were engaged in, and that's part of the process why it took so long. And then the church came back and said, you know, we think it's just best if we just sell the whole thing. And then we basically, again, had to get appraisals and things like that. So anyway, it's been a bit of a process, but I think when all is said and done, you know, owning waterfront park is going to be new to all of us. So we will certainly rely upon expertise and consult with the neighbors to make sure we get it just right. But I think it's an opportunity to pass a park on the Hudson River. Is a great opportunity, like you said, once in a lifetime, may not come up again. So we had to do what we could. So look forward to working with you and all the people in South Nyack to make sure that everybody's voices are heard. So, okay. On that note, we will move on to our agenda items. Number 3 is to a motion to withdraw the discontinuance of the public hearing regarding the farm winery/cidery. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have another public hearing on the zone change for 283 North Middletown Road. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion to open.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I see we have the attorney here, and
Just give me a little time to get straightened out.
Where do you have this? Is this revised? Didn't we already get the petition? Is this something different? Yeah, we did. This is just another one. Oh, wait, I got two minutes. Wait a minute.
Okay, name is
I got two.
Donald
You got two?
Brenner.
I got two.
I'm an attorney in Tapan, New York. I represent the owners of the property. They gave you a summarize. We'll read it together, I hope. The property in question was acquired by my client. It is the western portion of a parcel of land which is not presently being used. The entire parcel is located on the west side of North Middletown Road, south of the Meadows at Pearl River Condominiums, partially north of an office complex known as 275 North Middletown Road, 3 residential units on East Carroll Street, which are in the RG residential zone, and Charles Street, and east of a parcel which was partially acquired by the town for the Orangetown for flood control purposes. The entire parcel of land was about 1.83 acres and is identified on the Orangetown tax map as section 68.12, block 3, lot 24. The parcel is in the MFR zone. It is bordered by MFR to the north, CO to the east, CO partially to the south, and residential RG to the south and west. The property is being used as a contractor storage facility. The petitioners propose to use the total rezoned area for 2 residential lots. The residential lots would be in the RG zone and surrounded by residential RG zone property. The remainder of the parcel would remain in the MFR zone and as related to land areas confirmed to the requirements of the Orangetown Code. As stated in the petitions, the proposal to use the properties to build 2 residential lots. To assist the town board, I've given you an enclosed checkoff sheet, which is located in the rear of what I've given you. There is a checkoff sheet, which highlights the critical factors which should be reviewed before requested zone change is granted. The first 3 factors are location, size, and character of change, and what effects each would have on the neighboring community. The next 2 items relate to the fact that the change would not be detrimental to the site nor to the adjacent properties. I'm going to present Mr. Carl Ackerman. He's a local architect who was actively engaged in real estate development in our town, and his testimony will assure the board that this project will in no way be devalued or detrimental to the adjacent properties. So, Carl, would you just speak to the board for a moment?
Good evening, Supervisor and Board. Carl Ackerman, architect in Pearl River. I'm working with the owners to hopefully develop this property and make sure that there's no adverse effects. Currently, this property is CO zoned all the way back. With these 2 RG proposed units, it'll be a much more expansion of the Lewis Avenue area down there with the RG zone, and it would also put residential houses adjacent to the senior housing, which is a much better adjacency than a commercial property next to the senior housing. This is really a good project. The lots we're proposing are all as of right, and we're not looking for any significant, the properties and the houses we're going to develop are going to be as of right, no variances at this point are proposed. And this is going to be an increase in value of the adjacent homes, and it's also going to be an increase, obviously, for the town of Orangetown and the tax rolls. So we do not think that there's going to be any impacts here. And obviously, we will follow all the board's recommendations, going through the approval process of all the boards.
The next critical factor is the access to the abutting street and the fact that the change in pedestrian vehicle traffic will not be hazardous. Residential dwellings will generate a peak traffic impact of 2 cars. A multiple family dwelling with the bulk land area outlined in the zone change would generate a peak traffic impact of 4 cars. Therefore, under the existing zone, the parcel could generate traffic 200% greater than that generated by the requested zone change. The next key factor is that the project would not require additional public facilities or services, nor to create any additional financial burdens on the town. The following services as related to the project are available. Water is Viola, sewer is the town of Orangetown, gas and electric is Orange and Rockland, police is the town of Orangetown, fire is Pearl River Fire Department. In all instances, demand from these departments under the present zone change would be less under the present zoning. Pearl River School District effect. Under the existing MFR zone, the developer will be permitted to have 4 single-bedroom units or 3 two-bedroom units. This theoretically could result in 6 new pupils. By permitting the RG zone, the residential units would generate 1 to 4 pupils. Therefore, this change will not in any way burden the school district. And I've shown you the areas. If you take a look at the areas, you'll see that it's a small portion in the exhibits which I gave you. It's a small portion to be added to the zone change which you've already generated. In other words, prior, in years back in 2008, a major portion of this area was already changed to RG, and what we're doing is just adding 1 small portion of land, which is shown in your Exhibit 2, which basically has a land area of 6,790 square feet. So what I've attempted to do is to provide the board a full presentations of the advantages. If you review the checkoff sheet, you'll see that every factor was appealing in the zone change, and furthermore, you'll see the change is betterment of the community and will not impose any negative defects. If there's any questions, we're here to answer them.
Yeah, I have a question. So it's the house that's on Middletown Road right now,
Pardon me?
the house that's existing on Middletown Road is staying?
The property borders the town road right now, Charles Street.
No, the house in the front that's on Middletown Road.
That's, no, the part that we're carving off away from the Middletown Road property will not generate any traffic to Middletown. This area will generate traffic from 2 lots onto Charles Street only.
Onto Charles Street.
The house remains, in other words.
You're bringing the driveway back out to Charles Street.
That's right, the property borders Charles Street, that's correct.
It's only 2 houses.
Only 2 houses.
That's like a flag lot situation? You're going to have 2,
No,
1
it's
driveway or
Charles.
2?
I was just-
Okay,
I was
No,
just looking at my, I can't-
completely independent.
I see it. Okay.
Completely
find
independent.
Charles on this
Will have
map.
nothing to do with
Where's
the
Charles?
commercial property on Middletown Road.
One house is facing east, the other one's going west.
These houses will be facing to the
Right, the
south.
one in the front's
and Middletown
going
Road
to
faces
Middletown
to the
Road, the
east.
other one's
Come
going
up, I'm
back
like,
to
where?
Charles.
So it's only half an acre, the .5395 of an acre. That's the only part that's changing.
That's it.
Okay, so if the board's going to go through with it, I'll alter the proposed local law to include the meets and bounds description that's in Addendum B, which we didn't have before.
Okay, so the rear of the property is already RG. Right. Think I got it now. Okay. Okay, anybody have questions for the applicant? Otherwise, I'll see if anybody, no one signed up. Is there anybody who would like to speak on this matter? No, nobody wants to speak? Okay.
I'm good.
Everybody's good? Okay, then I guess we will take a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we'll go with the next item is adopting a negative declaration with respect to this zone change.
Right. Yeah, and again, the only change is going to be, I didn't put this in, but it should be a selected portion of Lot 24. So I'll fix the
Okay.
language for tomorrow for Rosanna. Thank you, sorry.
Okay.
I make a motion to accept as amended.
Yep, adopt the negative deck, yeah.
Adopt, okay, accept.
I'll second that. Sorry.
Complete confusion.
Sorry about that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so I think we did is we adopted the change and and a negative declaration. Okay. And then again, I guess the same change in regard to
Right.
number 7, I guess it's a portion of the lot So can I get a motion to adopt a local law to change a portion of the lot from MFR to RG?
Motion. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That's done. Okay, can I get a motion?
That's it for them, right?
That's it for them?
Yep,
Yeah,
you
you're
guys are
good. You
good.
just got approved.
You're all set.
You're welcome to stick around, but you're free to leave, too. Okay, can I get a motion to waive the building department fee for the Eagle Scout Friends?
I make a motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 9, authorize the town to purchase the real property located at 149-157 Piermont Avenue in South Nyack. And again, this is to sign the contract, which does have some contingency still within it.
And it's subject to permissive referendum as well.
Permissive, just, yep, exactly.
Thank you.
Motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 10, a motion to accept the hold harmless and indemnification for the property at 2 Henry Street for their mailbox being in the right of way.
I'll make a motion, sorry. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 11, motion to approve a tax certiorari and authorize the town attorney to sign the settlement documents. Motion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 12, approve the stipulation of settlement with the matter of the old Village of South Nyack lawsuit with Yeshiva Vitsness, and as recommended by the town attorney. Motion?
I'll make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 13, approve retained agreement with Wilson Elser in the matter of Fay versus the town of Orangetown. Motion? Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Award a bid to Schultz Ford for the 2024 Ford Escape Hybrid.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 15, approve the revised 2024 pavement preservation program list.
I'll make a motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Jeff. Thank you.
Okay, the audit for tonight's meeting consists of 4 warrants for a total of $2.2 million. Items of interest, number 2, Capasso, $90,000 for recycling. Number 3, Fred Devens Construction, $223,000 for Tier 4 pump station project, that's bonded money. Number 11, Munis, $61,000 for building department software. Number 13, Department of Civil Service, $1 million for healthcare benefits. Number 18, Seal Coat USA, $39,000 for highway surface treatment, bonded money. Number 19, She International, $54,000 for antivirus software licenses. And number 21, Virtuit Systems, $99,000 for IT equipment, bonded money. Any questions on the audit?
No, can I get a motion to accept the audit?
Move.
Second? I don't know, pick one. Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, so, we do have an executive session, quick item on where the land sale may affect the value. Anything else? No, that's it, okay. We don't have any adjournments, so we're going to be going to executive session. We will not be voting on anything when we come out. Can I get a motion to go to executive session?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second it. Aye.